can use Venn diagrams to help us solve problems and answer questions. We've kind of already been doing a little bit of that. But let's look at this example here. This is on page 7 of the current notes. So the story goes, 150 college freshmen were interviewed. 85 were registered for a math class, 70 were registered for an English class, and 50 were registered for both math and English. Now, something you should be aware of to be careful of when doing questions like this, unless it has the word only, like 85 were registered for a math class only, it will include everything in the whole circle. So the first thing we actually want to do here is to put the number in the middle, because 85 registered for math, that's this entire circle. 70 registered for English, that's this entire circle. 50 were registered for both math and English, that's the number that goes here in the middle. See if I can get my pen to work properly. There it is. So 50 registered for both. Okay, now we go back to the first two pieces of information. 85 were registered for math. So that means 85 students registered for math, but 50 of those also had an English class. That means there are 35 that just have a math class and no English class, right? So that this adds up to 85 total. 70 were registered for an English class, but 50 of those also had a math class. So that means there are 20 students that only had an English class without the math class. Now, I'm sure there are students that registered for all sorts of other classes, but maybe didn't sign up for math or English for that semester. So 150 college freshmen were interviewed. How many students did not sign up for either math or English? So what we need to do is add all three of the numbers together. Add all numbers. And we get 35 plus 50, which is 85, plus 20, which is 105. And that tells us how many students took math or English or both. Now that would be the union, right? That would be the union number. The reason we need to know the union number is because we also want to know the complement of the union. We want to know how many students didn't register for either. So to figure that out, we're going to take 150, subtract 105, and that gives us 45 students did not take math or English. Okay, so I'm going to put that 45 number out here. So now all four of those numbers add up to the 150 in my universal set, right? So that's important. I wanted to make sure that my diagram was completely filled in before I start answering the questions. All right, how many signed up for only a math class? Well, we just figured that out by taking 85 minus 50. We discovered there were 35 students that only took a math class and not an English class. How many students signed up only for an English class? Well, we already figured out that number to put in our Venn diagram, so that number was 20. What is math union English? So this plus this plus this, we did that number earlier to find the other number that we were missing, and we discovered that 105 students take math or English or both. How many signed up for neither math nor English? Now that's the last thing we figured out to add to our picture, and that was 45. 45 students took neither because there were 150 students total, and we needed that 45 for this to add up to 150. Okay, any questions on this first example? You need to rewatch the video and pause it at this point so you can go back through those and understand them again. Okay, here's a whole nother problem. How many people are represented in the diagram? I'm going to zoom this in a little because, oh, that didn't zoom it in, that zoomed it out. So that picture is really small. Mucho better. Got it. Okay. How many people are represented in the diagram? So let's look at this diagram for a minute. I'm guessing that this diagram represents people that like either rock music or rap music or country music, or maybe they like two of the kinds of music, or maybe all three. This reminds me of the project we did last semester, Understanding Data, where a lot of you collected some data, and many people did it. There's several people that did it, collecting people's favorite types of music. And for me, it was hard to say what my favorite kind was because I like a lot of different kinds of music. So this picture represents the fact that people might like more than one kind of music, right? So how do we figure how many people are represented in the diagram? We're going to add all of the numbers together. So add all numbers. If there was any numbers out here, we would include those, and that would be like people that didn't like any of these types of music. But there are no outside numbers, so we don't need to worry about that. We're just going to add the 18 plus the 11 plus the 24 plus the 8 plus the 7 plus the 1 plus the 17. And using a calculator, I discovered that those all add up to 86. So there are 86 people represented in this diagram. Next question, how many people like country? Well, country would refer to any of the numbers in the country circle. So we have 8 that like country and rock. We have 7 that like country, rock, and rap. We have 1 that likes country and rap, and we have 17 that like country only. So to figure out the answer to this question, we are going to add all 4 of those numbers together. 8 plus 7 plus 1 plus 17. That gives us a total of 33 people out of the 86 that like country. Not only country, other things too maybe, but they do like country. I don't know why they would like country, because that's a little crazy in my opinion. Just kidding. Okay, find country intersects rock. So that would be whatever they share. So country intersects rock. Here's the rock circle. Here's the country circle. These two numbers here include people that like both country and rock. It also includes people that like rap, but this question doesn't ask us about that, so we're just going to ignore that. But we still need to add those two numbers together. So 8 plus 7 is 15 people that like country and rock. Okay, then we want to figure out how many people like country or rock. This one's a union, so it could be country or rock or both, right? Let me change the color. So country and rock, that would be or country or rock. So everything in this circle and everything in this circle. The only number it doesn't include is the 24. So you could go 18 plus 11 plus 8 plus 7 plus 1 plus 17, so you've got all the numbers in those circles, and get that total that way. Or another way to do this problem is to take the 86 people we started with and subtract the 24 people that like rap only. And that leaves us with an easier problem, knowing that 62 people like country or rock, or both. And if you add these together, you get that exact same answer. So it worked to find this either way. 2 ways to find the answer, correct? Now there's many more questions that could be asked about this diagram. We could ask questions about rap. We could ask questions about how many people like all 3. That would be 7, right? We could ask how many people like just rock or rap but not country. That would be 11. So there's another assignment that I can give to you now if you're ready to start moving on, that's going to have all sorts of questions similar to these that you'll need to use your diagram to help you figure out the answers.